Hello, Kimera Hashiv and you, this Misha Joseph and Paslik and an Alaba. Agus an Shuan and Paslik ha e fur gle ur and you ach she fesker ma ahang. Right. For those of you who were watching my clip yesterday, you will know that in order to push forward Gaelic a little bit, I decided to do some writing. And I've made some chapters of a book, and we're going through the premise so you get the idea of the book, what it's for, how we can use it to improve your Gaelic, and we're going to have some fun because it's quite funny as well. The story is set in the 2030s, and supernatural beings are now living in modern society. A group of Scottish Gaelic supernatural beings have set up a 12-step recovery group while trying to adapt to modern life. Some of them remain hidden in the shadows, pretending to be human, while others are very open about their identity. And the story revolves around the racism and discrimination they face in modern society while trying to fit in. The main protagonist in the story, the main character, is a Selkie. She tenem Samuel aher. She Samuel aher and Selkie. Now, Selkie is not a Gaelic word. It's an Old Scots word from the Scots dialect. In Gaelic, I suppose man of the sea is the closest we can get. There may be another word like sea warrior, but we're going to call him Dunyamara, man of the sea, which basically is the same word we use to talk about mermen. Mermaid, the women, are Mujinvara. Mujinvara is the way we would talk about the mermaid. So we're going to call him Dunyamara. So Samuel, she Samuel aher, and Dunyamara. He's trying to work out his very being, living in a human world. He's been married a few times. He's kind of yearning to get back into the sea, but if you know the legend of the Selkie, and these are all true Gaelic legends, you probably know that if someone has his skin, he can't get back to the sea to become a seal. That's right, Selkies are seals, and if someone takes their skin while they're lying on the beach as humans or whatever, they can't turn back into seals, and they're kind of trapped. So Samuel, his wife, took his sealskin with her, so he's kind of stuck after they got divorced. He's currently living with his mother. He has 3 kids. He has visiting rights to see them, but he really wants his skin back so he can get back into the sea. The word for seal in Scottish Gaelic is roan. So, she Samuel aher, she Samuel aher and Dunya Mara. Next is a storm kelpie. Now, these are known as h-ainmean. You may have heard of them before. They're also known as water horses. They're shapeshifters. George, the Gaelic name for George is Shoris. He belongs to a very specific type of kelpie, which is blue. He has issues with his color, faces a lot of racism day to day because, well, other supernatural beings can kind of hide, but he can't because he's blue. He works as a poet and has anger issues. Now, if you know the legend of the Blue Men, then you may know that what they do is they come to the boat, the sailor, they ask for the captain, they give him 2 lines of poetry, and then they say, okay, you finish the poem. And if you don't know it, then, well, you're in trouble. So that's the story of the storm kelpie. h-uske, his name is George. He's in a mixed marriage. He's married to another Kelpie who isn't a Storm Kelpie, and she often comes to this recovery meeting as a completely different person since she can shapeshift. But she's recognized by her hoofs because, the Gaelic mythology tells us that water horses, you can recognize them. They usually have retained one character of a horse, even when they've shapeshifted. They might have sand in their hair. They might look a little bit strange. If you look at their hands, they could have some webbed fingers. But there's usually ways you can recognize them. So she's known, even when she appears as other people, by her hoofs on her feet. The next character we have in the story, remember these are all real characters from Scottish mythology. Ben-Nia. Okay, in this one, she Mary Ahore. She's nicknamed Jessica Fletcher because people die whenever she's around. Everyone's scared of her when she attends the meetings. She's generally the negative one in the group. That should be -1 in the group. She loves to take care of the rooms, particularly after the meeting, where she washes the floor and tablecloths and is responsible for the coffee. And if you know the legend of the Ben-Nia, that's what they do. Ben-Nia is a washerwoman, and she's usually washing blood after someone is dying. So, yeah, quite a dark character. Another couple, these are brownies, in Gaelic known as Urishk. These are spirit beings who do all the work for you at night if you give them milk. These two, Anna and Ian, they work for a gay couple living in a castle in the Highlands. They both spent 10 years in jail while pretending to be human at a time when it was illegal. She was a famous ballet dancer in the 70s and has a sense of grandeur about her. They don't mix well with the others. They're very bitter about their role in society, and they always bring milk for the coffee le panier. There's also a half mermaid, so that's also going to be the same as the merman. So Mujinvara, so Dunyamara Mujinvara, that's the pronunciation there. Okay, so we don't know her name, but she's there as well. And there's two humans who support the group. They come to observe when the meetings are open. That's Katrina and I think it's Egier, the way we say that name. I don't know. I know in Irish it's Adair. So I don't know if that's the same in Scottish Gaelic. Common surname in these parts. And they're very pro-being, meaning that they support the beings, the supernatural beings, which makes them unique. And that's because their children have all married fairies and shapeshifters. Right, we're now going to practice naming. You should know these from my exam. I should know I was practicing names a lot a couple of weeks back. Jintin Maher and Dunyamara. Do you remember? She Samuel Aher and Dunyamara. She Samuel Aher. Next is talking about the mermaid. Moijan Vara. Jintin Maher and Moijan Vara. Chanyo Fisakum. I don't know. We don't know what her name is. We were never told. In fact, Chanyo Moijan Vara and Ans and Skialacht. We don't know because there isn't one in our story, except the other half mermaid that we spoke about here. Let's continue with the questions. Okay, so this is to leave space for the answers. So when we were talking about Mary, if someone asked us, for example, Jintenum Hore, we could say, she anam Mary Hore. About Samuel, she's Samuel here. And then we have the plural, Jena Henneman Ahora. What's their names? Jina h-ainmean aka ba, 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 Samuel, Shoris, Mary, Anna agus Ian, the Half Mermaid, Mujin Vara, Katrina agus Eger or Adair. So there's, I think, 8 of them, no? And that's the next question. Kimi dunya hounds and skialacht. How many of them are there? So we're going to count the names in the story. So let's see. Own, Aga, a tree, a keher, a coig. Moiten vara, a shia, a shecht, a hawk. So when we count, we put a in front. So we've got own, and then aga, a tree, a keher, a coig. A shia, a shecht, a hawk, a noi, a jech. And by the way, we count by putting the A in front. If we're not counting, they are the same except for this one. Ga, it's aga, but it just becomes da if we're reciting numbers, I believe. Okay, there we are. So, plenty to work with here. So I'll be telling you more about these characters, and we'll be translating more into Gaelic, because we'll be asking how they are, what they're doing, what they work at, and it'll be lovely to hear their stories. I admit it's a little bit of a dark story about this group of supernatural beings who now live with humans, but hey, it's fun. And I'll be writing another chapter shortly on that, but I think we've got a little bit more to go through on this as well. Gleva. Kirsch galore, Martian let, Chiri and Drasda.